The clock is ticking for the Justice Department to release a redacted version of the affidavit used to obtain the search warrant for former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. It's been nearly 3 weeks since the search dominated headlines and added to the political divide. Our Joe Khalil is following the latest from Washington this morning. Good morning, Joe.
Yeah, good morning, Mitch. So, look, this is potentially going to be the most detailed explanation that we get yet as to why the Department of Justice felt it was necessary to send FBI agents in to raid and search Mar-a-Lago, the former president's home. And we are waiting now, basically at any moment, this affidavit could come down. Now, the big caveat here is that large portions of it, we know, are still going to remain sealed, because it's going to be a redacted version, which quite literally means that when you see the papers, when you see the actual documents, there are going to be whole chunks of it that are going to be blacked out. And the reason that is because the Department of Justice still has names, they have methods they use to get the information. They want to keep all of that stuff secret. It could be crucial to their investigation down the road. But still, we should quite literally be learning the most so far that we've learned about why this affidavit, why this search rather happened. Really important here that we get that Judge Bruce Reinhart actually asked the Department of Justice to submit everything to him in the affidavit that they wanted to keep secret, and they did so yesterday. He really surprised people because he turned it around in just a matter of about 4 hours, giving his approval, saying here, quote, "The government has met its burden, showing compelling reason and good cause to seal portions of the affidavit because disclosure would reveal identities of witnesses, law enforcement agents, and uncharged parties, the investigation strategy, direction, scope, sources, and methods." So those things are not going to be revealed to us. But again, we should get a much clearer picture as to what the Department of Justice was thinking in its full form, totally unredacted. We would get exactly why the DOJ thought that a crime was committed, and we would know exactly how they knew where these documents were in Mar-a-Lago, who was communicating to them. Presumably, those specific details we won't get, but certainly important, again, that we're going to see some more today, and that is by noon, the deadline that Judge Reinhart put on the Department of Justice to release that. So, again, it could come now, it could come in the next couple hours, but by noon, we will have it. One more important deadline, Mitch, to mention, a different judge actually gave Trump's lawyers a deadline because he filed this request to stop the FBI and the DOJ from reviewing these documents until what's known as a special master, sort of a neutral party, can oversee those documents. He requested that, but there were some questions about how they requested that and in what court was appropriate. So the judge in that case has also given Trump's team a deadline by today to sort of clarify and refine that request. So two major deadlines we're watching, but the big one, we will see this affidavit, not all of it, but certainly important portions of it. And it should give us a lot of insight today, Mitch.
That is Joe Khalil reporting live from Washington, D.C. this morning. Thank you for that update. And now to dig a bit deeper into what the public can expect from this redacted version, let's bring in criminal defense attorney and legal analyst Bernarda Villalona. Bernarda, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
So the DOJ has less than 6 hours. They are on the clock to release this affidavit. What do you expect to learn given the redactions that we're also expecting?
Well, one thing that we do know for sure is that the document is not redacted to the extent to render the document being meaningless. Because remember last week, Judge Reinhart stated that after reviewing the possible redactions, if it makes the document meaningless in the sense of once it's released, then he wasn't going to unseal the affidavit. So you're going to get certain information to the extent of one, boilerplate language in terms of law and what places to actually look at once they get to the location. But also you're going to get the extensive negotiations that were done between the Department of Justice, the National Archives, as well as Donald Trump's attorneys in trying to get these documents. Because remember, National Archives have been trying to get these documents for over a year. You may see a declaration from one of the attorneys for Donald Trump saying that, look, I turned over all the documents. We have no other documents in our possession that you're looking for. You also may get from of that, remember, 15 boxes were turned over before a search warrant was executed. So we may get some information as to what were in those 15 boxes. So I'm not expecting much, especially since we're not going to learn what was the actual probable cause in the sense of identities or grand jury, what's been going on in the grand jury, or anything that will lead to the exact specific next step of the investigation that the DOJ is handling.
Well, so you have been on both sides of this. You have prosecuted cases in Philadelphia and other places, and you've been a defense attorney as well. Wouldn't it be really helpful to you as a defense attorney to get an unredacted search warrant? And at the same point, wouldn't it be really unhelpful for your case as a prosecutor to give all this information to the defense before a trial has even begun?
Absolutely. I was a prosecutor for 16 years, and in those 16 years, I've written numerous search warrants. And I can tell you this, one of the main concerns in writing search warrants is always the protection of the witnesses, the protection of the confidential witnesses, and also that you don't want to give up the trajectory of the investigation. You don't want to compromise that. However, as a defense attorney, of course you want this information because you want to know what are their next steps and what is it that the government has. But the problem you have here is that, look, no one has been arrested. So this is pretty much unprecedented that an affidavit is unsealed when there's still an ongoing investigation and no one has been arrested. So it does set some kind of bad precedent for the future for other people that search warrants are executed. And they're like, wait, just because I'm not Donald Trump, I'm not the former president, because I have no money or power, I can't get a copy of my affidavit as to why you came in my house and took these items. So there's a lot to be seen in this case, but I know we'll all be watching.
Well, so there must be prosecutors from sea to shining sea here just rolling their eyes going, no, don't do this. Don't set this precedent.
Absolutely, absolutely, because you're going to hinder future prosecutions and investigations. It changes the trajectory. But Judge Reinhart was very clear, and he found compelling reasons that the government put forward as to why a lot of the information inside of that affidavit is going to be redacted. So I don't think that we're going to see the really nitty-gritty as to where they're going in this investigation and what led them. Specifically, when you're talking about witnesses or what's going on in the grand jury, you won't see that in this release.
Do you think that this is going to have an impact then on this case or any of other Trump's legal issues, or will this be something that is not terribly useful?
Well, we have to wait and see, because we're not going to know pretty much the meat of it as to what's in this affidavit.
But no, Bernarda, I want you to predict the future. Why don't you tell us what's in it? No, I'm kidding. I understand. We do have to wait and see on that one. I totally understand. It's a bad question on my part and a bad way to go out. But I do appreciate your time for joining us. You've been enlightening in other ways when I ask you good questions. So Bernarda Villalona, a criminal defense attorney and legal analyst, thank you for coming on Early Morning today.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation in your cable lineup. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-based, unbiased coverage.